were being nice to refs. I thought Bentham was top draw last week and Friday against Cass versus Salford as well. And then David Powell again. Scoots had got in touch with a long email thanking everyone for the donations towards sponsoring Joshua's under 8s Mighton team. And in that email, she also asked about superstitions, Tom. So David Powell has got in touch and he said, "Now then, lads, this superstition thing could be a thing. I don't wash my Saints shirt when we have won."
There you go.
So do you have any
superstitions? Not active, because we don't fucking win. No, I don't. I don't have any.
I wondered about this shirt washing thing. For me, if I did this, but I think it's not a win or lose situation. And I think sometimes if we win more comfortably, the shirt requires washing less because it's had less tension dripped into its fabric.
What a delightful image. No, I don't. I must admit, I don't have any superstitions about stuff like that.
I think I mentioned this last week. My cousin Jamie used to always say, "Meat pie, pot, sausage roll. Come on, such and such kicker, give us a goal," and he reprised it for the quarter-final.
All right.
Against Warrington, and George Williams was flawless with the boot, so I'm hoping he's going to reprise it again on Sunday for the semi-final and has similar effects. But I personally am not particularly superstitious, but anything that gets us over the line at the moment.
At that point, if you need those little tiny percentages, it's all about the tiny percentages that tot up, isn't it?
Yeah, we got a tweet from a new account on Twitter that's been set up called Bare Necessities, but you can find them at Cov Bears Podcast, which tells us more about who they are than Bare Necessities does, but nice name they've come up with there. It's really good. And they said, "Hey guys, we're a brand new pod all about the Coventry Bears. Any chance of a plug?"
Nah, go fuck yourself. Right, moving on.
Here's your plug,
yes,
guys.
Absolutely.
I haven't, because I was away and I wasn't listening to podcasts last week, so I've not.
It's always good to check them out, isn't
it? Picked up on this, but I'll try and catch some episodes. So if these guys want to send us a bit more detail of exactly where to find you and that sort of thing, we'll give you more of a mention.
100%, that's fabulous.
But it's great to see people taking in a wider interest down, especially down at the lower levels.
Superb,
since the rugby league down south isn't really there anymore. I think some of these peripheral teams maybe not getting the coverage, but then we've had the League One podcast this year, which has been really great for giving them that platform again.
Definitely.
Across the whole of League One.
Yeah.
The Wolfpack have got their own fans doing it, but of course they're getting 7,500 fans now at games at Lamport.
That's but
so, but this is great, and I hope it works well, and I hope other people can join in as well as Coventry Bears fans, because I think we're all interested in what's going on, aren't we?
Of course, and it's something that allows fans or disparate fans of a inverted commas smaller team access and a bit of feedback and a bit of back and forth.
Form a community as well,
form a community around each other like we have with the Super League.
Get your minibuses ready for the away trips and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I might be down in Coventry at some point next year with the Bulls.
Oh yeah.
So exciting times ahead for us all. But no, best of luck, lads. That's I presume it's lads. I could be being wildly sexist here, but best of luck, all of you, at the Coventry Bears podcast.
Yeah, we need to try and be more gender neutral. So last week I tried out Now Then listeners.
Oh no! See, look, there comes a point
when people come to us with Now Then lads, that's appropriate because we're both lads. But when I was
really though,
I just thought I'd try it out.
Are we deeply offending people?
No one knows. I'm not. I don't think we are. But I just thought it'd be nice to try it out.
I think.
But I've always tried to be really gender neutral when it comes to children. But parents don't seem to like me calling their little children it. So
no, they don't.
No, so what's their problem? They need to get a bit of gender neutrality going.
No, we don't. Oh, yeah. Well, look, I'm all for not offending people, but there comes a point where I think we're just all overdoing it. I would.
No, that's what I'm saying. So why?
If Now Then lads has upset anyone?
No, it's not. It was Tom. It was a bit of a segue into my line about it, really.
Okay. Speaking of it, have you seen the trailers for the remake they're making of that thing?
No.
That movie, bloody hell. Looks like some scary shit, yo.
It's not. It's not one for me. I'm not a big scary movie fan.
I'm not really, but I like Stephen King, so I'll probably watch it from behind a pillow.
Yes.
Frightening myself.
One for you and Erin, daddy and daughter. Cinema day.
Suspect not, like fucking 8 clowns. Do you remember when all the crazy clowns were about in October?
Oh.
For Halloween?
Yeah.
Oh, I was praying for one. Because it would have helped me it would have been quite cathartic to have one jump out on me and pagger some cheeky chav.
Right, I see what you mean.
I wouldn't have reacted well. It wouldn't have gone well.
Feel like you won't have ever watched the TV series Bones?
No.
When the FBI agent man in that has a bit of an issue with clowns and shoots a laughing clown on the top of an ice cream cart and gets his gun licence taken off him. I
can get behind that. I do have a bit of a thing about clowns.
Yeah. At Mitchell Dart said, had Yorkshire pudding for the first time. This is a game changer.
Hey. So, well,
we're all a fan of a Yorkshire
pudding. We're all a fan of a Yorkshire pudding, yeah. Absolutely, fair play.
From final
I just wonder if it's like McDonald's. You know, like McDonald's tastes the same no matter where you go. Do you think that the tiny differences in the ingredients will have made Yorkshire pudding for Mitchell the same as our Yorkshire pudding? How do we know that it tastes? Do you know what I mean? Maybe flour's slightly different. Maybe the eggs have. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, and I'm guessing it will be a slight variation, but it's.
Well, the overall product is. Yeah.
The idea of effectively like a risen pancake.
Yes. He is risen.
Sean at Bruiser664 got in touch. This was from something we spoke about when you were on the show, when we spoke about
Epilata roulette.
Yeah, he said I often do enchilada roulette, where a random one of them also contains various hot sauces.
Hey, I like the style of that.
That's a good one. I might try that out next time.
I like spice. I like hot sauce stuff. That's all good for me. There you go.
Well, yeah, Sean also asked us who's going to the Challenge Cup final this week.
Well, I think it largely depends on how we can get on in the semis, doesn't it?
No, I've got tickets already.
Oh, have you got tickets already?
Yeah. But I don't know where I'm going to sit. I don't know if I'm going to use those tickets or buy tickets in the Wigan, more in the Wigan end.
Yeah, depending on
what
how
happens.
Things go.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, that is your feedback and shout-outs taken care of. Let's take a look now at news from around the world of rugby league. Okay, so to news from around the world of rugby league, and lots to bring you this week. We'll start at Headingley, where Leeds hooker Rob Burrow has announced that he will retire at the end of the current Super League season. Burrow is 34 and has spent his entire career with the Rhinos, making 486 appearances to date since his debut back in 2001. He's helped the club to win 7 Super League titles, 3 World Club Challenges and 2 Challenge Cups, and will now step into a coaching role with Leeds. So, a phenomenal career.
Fantastic career.
And deserves applaud for that, yeah. Absolutely.
One of the things we were talking about with Rich and his dad was like big tries that have got better over the years. And I said like the thing about that Burrow try was it the 2009 Grand Final? One of the ones where they beat Saints when Saints lost loads in a row. That Grand Final, the try that he scored where he broke up the middle.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, that's one of those tries that doesn't get even more epic as you remember it, because it was that epic. It was from like his own half. It was through the middle of the whole team. It was round the fullback. It was incredible. Yeah. So so he has had a great career. He's won loads of things. He's been around forever, and his size and stuff. It's you've seen it's a big man's game, isn't it? So he's managed to corner the market somewhat for himself there, and I think he'll be forever one of those players that you'll forever remember.
Definitely,
definitely.
Staying with Leeds, and the Rhinos have announced this week that they've signed Warrington Wolves hooker Brad Dwyer on a 2-year deal. The 24-year-old will join the Headingley side for the start of the 2018 season. So some continuity there, you would say.
Well, he's gone from backing up Darryl Clark to backing up Matt Parcell, but they needed to bring someone in to replace Rob Burrow, so I think that's a good
move.
He's
a more than able replacement, I would say.
Yeah, in a scooter, so similar.
Yeah,
kind
exactly.
of player.
Keeps that roll going, doesn't he? Leeds Rhinos head coach Brian McDermott has said he was disappointed that teenager Jack Walker had turned down a 3-year contract with the club. In a statement on the club website on Wednesday, Walker said he had rejected the contract offer because he did not feel he would be able to play in his favoured position of full-back.
Yeah, we received a telegram from Trinidad on this one. So I'm going to read out Kev Ogley's email.
Yes, nice one, Kev.
He said, "Now then, lads, I just want to chime in about the Jack Walker scenario. I will avoid the issues of the 17-year-olds trying to dictate their futures and the role of agents. I prefer to look at the mess Leeds have got themselves in, and it was completely avoidable. The league has a hard salary cap. Fullback is one of the most important positions, and Ashton Golding is arguably little more than the 10th best fullback in a 12-team league. Before Golding signed his new contract, of course, I don't know the actual figures, you could make the case that Golding was worth having, as he cost peanuts and was a serviceable player. Leeds giving him an improved 5-year contract was madness, though, and a sign of poor planning. Leeds' decision 6 months ago to give a long-term contract to an average player with marginal upside whose low salary was his primary virtue has guaranteed more costly, below-average play in a key position. So if you are Jack Walker, you will not be sitting behind Zach Hardacre or Ben Barber, but a player you probably think you are already on a par with. If you are Leeds, you have already invested in a below-average young fullback who can't really give anything but a small offer to others in the same position coming through. Long story short, Leeds' woeful handling of Golding's contract renewal will hurt the club for years and is a direct cause of the issues this week."
That's an interesting way of looking at it, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, the Wilco clan were all sort of... His head's been turned, and it's unfortunate that a young player would get some bad advice like this, because surely he'd be better served by trying to fight for a place at a club that he's established at, that he's familiar with the surroundings of, that have helped bring him through, that supported him to this point, and will probably find a more secure environment for him. But what actually has happened is the club have thrown him under the bus, haven't they?
Yeah.
In my view, after releasing the statement, making it clear that, sort of putting it on the player himself, saying he didn't want to play he didn't want to play anywhere else other than fullback, so
we're not bothered.
So, he's dictating the terms to us. I don't know if that's the way it's actually played out, but I don't like that the club have kind of done that to a young 17-year-old. Even if you're going to criticise the way that maybe he's had his head turned by a large drop. Apparently, Lee have offered a contract like 40 or 50,000 is a rumour. Now, that's just a rumour, and Warrington are reported to actually be in the driver's seat, and I would suspect they're not offering that sort of level of money at this stage of a young player's career. But Leeds, along with another club, who probably have contributed the most to the player pool around, Leeds and Wigan, and St Helens thirdly, I would suggest, they kind of are known for not offering big contracts to young players. So maybe it's more financial than
possibly so
than has been made out. However, I think you've got to earn your place a little bit. You kind of don't want to be getting a bit too big-headed. Wilco's dad was saying getting that man of the match on the Sky game maybe didn't help the kid in terms of it's raised his profile to where it didn't need to be, but I think that's more something that hasn't helped Leeds be able to manage the situation, because it started the questions being asked about his contract. I think it's a really interesting thing, and I think it's a shame for Jack Walker himself, because however it's come about and whether the club have kind of put forward a position that should cast him in a bit of a negative light as well, but he's put himself under a lot of pressure here with this whole scenario.
Big time.
And wherever he goes now, he will be far more scrutinised and far more criticised for the things he does than if he'd have stayed at Leeds and had a quiet, signs a deal for 2 years, 2 to 3 years, and we'll see how it goes kind of scenario.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I tend to agree with a lot of what you've said. I think it does put him under a tremendous amount of pressure. And the thing that surprises me is that at 17 he's saying, I want to play at full back, when we've seen lads who he will probably have spent some of his formative years admiring as a full back all serve their time elsewhere in the back line. Look, Zach Hardacre, who he probably models himself on in quite a lot of time, has won grand finals at centre and what have you. So it's not
for England.
It's not exactly
this year when he's the best fullback in Super League.
Precisely. So it's not logical to expect that at 17 you're going to be able to command this position. And I think where he's been poorly advised is being told that at any stage in your career as a backline player, you're going to be able to dictate that because the needs of the club will dictate